Okay, so let's jump into the square now and see if my hypothesis works out. Hopefully doing frenemies unlocks great team, and then we can just move on with our lives. I'm excited for the new episodes though, because I have no idea what to expect. I heard the voices of people selling their goods in the town square, as well as the voices of the shoppers. The masquerade is drawing near, so I want to buy what I need before the shops get crowded. I didn't need to open my wallet to check inside. There was no heft to it at all. I hope I'll get a good job soon. It was completely based on luck, but that was how it was as a handyman. Even knowing my wallet was empty, I looked around the shops and stalls to see what they had for sale. Cookware. The pot I used was dented and about to get a hole in it. I was hoping to either fix it or find a new one. Clothes. My favorite outfit had a missing button. It would be difficult to tailor a new one, so I wanted something I could replace the button with. Daily sundries. The scissors I had were no good. I sharpened them over and over, but the chipped edges were pretty bad now. I was hoping to find large scissors that could be used for sewing that were also cheap. Cleaning tools. Protective gear for the cold, and above all else, food. The more I thought, the more I wanted to buy. I heaved a sigh.
That's a big sigh. What's the matter? Lose your wallet?
Oh, Elric. I wasn't expecting you. I didn't notice him coming up next to me. He was looking at the sundries too.
That's because you're slow.
I didn't lose my wallet, and I'm not slow. What about you, Elric? Out on an errand?
Yeah, the axe broke, so I was told to buy another one.
An axe? I doubted my ears. That was quite a surprising thing to be sent on an errand for.
Puh! Puh! Puh!
Rabbit is trying to say something. I get it. Elric, you broke the axe, didn't you?
How'd you know?
I was actually joking. Rabbit told me. Didn't you hear her? An axe isn't something a child would usually be sent to buy. You break it, you buy it, I guess. Lawrence probably went that route. I feel like Lawrence is getting his revenge on Elric for a past life.
In that case, help me find one. I don't know where they'd be sold.
I expected that, so I took him to a store I knew. I think they'd have some here. Hand axes and bigger axes for adults, too. There were about 3 different types there, so I turned to Elric to ask which one he wanted. He responded haughtily.
Beats me.
Puh!
You're useless on errands. Why not pick the one that looks most like the one you broke? What were you using?
It was about this long, and pretty heavy.
He motioned the shape of the axe with hand gestures. It was likely an axe for adults. I wonder how he broke it in the first place. Then how about this one? Try it out. I asked the store owner for permission and had Elric hold the axe. It was made to cut trees and split firewood, so it was rather heavy. Seems like you're having trouble with it. Want to find one that's lighter?
No way! You make it sound like it's because I couldn't hold it.
But it's true. Did Lawrence tell you to buy an axe for adults?
He said a light one is fine.
I muttered that he should have told me that in the beginning while picking up a medium-sized axe. Uh-oh. I don't like that you're smiling like that while holding an axe, Elric.
Oh, I think I can wield this one.
It depends on the usage, but it should be enough for splitting firewood. Convinced that this was what he wanted, Elric took out some money to buy the axe. Straw was wrapped around the blade to keep it covered and safe to hold, even by a child. How did you break such a big axe anyway? Were you trying to play a prank?
No! I wanted to add more firewood to the fireplace while Lawrence was gone. and there was none around, so I...
Puh.
Upon hearing that, I felt more relaxed. You were trying to split your own firewood? Despite how it ended up, that was admirable of you.
Oh, shut up. It's the axe's fault for being so heavy.
That's why Lawrence told you to buy a lighter one.
Well, I guess so.
That had to be what happened. Lawrence told him to buy the kind of axe he could carry. It was quite heartwarming to hear, really. Next time you can take care of it on your own.
Puh.
See, Rabbit answered me first.
Damn.
He looked frustrated, but it was probably just to hide his embarrassment. I felt like I understood him a lot better now. I planned on walking him back to the church for safety, but then suddenly... Hey! Out shopping? Levi called out to me cheerfully. What a coincidence! If you have time, let's get something to eat together. You're always inviting me out to eat, man. Which means I love you, because I love eating. So you and I would get along great. Oh, sorry, I have to go somewhere right now. I thought about telling him I was walking Elric back, but an annoyed voice cut me off.
Hey, mind your manners, you empty-headed wolf.
Elric? What a way to start things off. I really hoped he'd change the way he talked to people. Oh? I was wondering who it was. You're that little thief kid. And Levi's response was just as immature. His forced smile poked Elric where it hurt.
I don't do that anymore.
Oh, I hope so. And you should stop with the insults right at the start of a conversation.
This guy is talking to me right now, and you interrupted. You need to learn some manners.
Well, excuse me for bothering, little thieving brat.
I just said I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, fine. I can be nice about it. I won't turn you into the authorities. This time.
What's this guy's problem? He's so immature.
I'm dealing with you in the most mature way possible. You really want me to turn you in? I've got 2 kids on my hands. Elric might be a child, but Levi was on the same level.
Go ahead and try.
Elric said that while hiding behind me. He was completely unwilling to fight, but he still shouted at Levi aggressively. You need to think about what you did. Well, there wasn't anyone filing reports on you. I'm an adult here, so I'll let you go this time. You'd better be grateful for my mature judgment. His arrogant tone was so immature. Hey, you too.
What do you mean, mature judgment? All you do is wander around all day.
Hey, you really want to get turned in? That's all I'm hearing from you right now.
And I keep saying, go ahead and try it.
You're a real brat, you know that?
Puh.
The two of them were getting into a heated argument. I was hoping that they would simmer down, but that didn't happen. Rabbit looked on worriedly as they seemed to get even more heated up. That's enough, you two! Don't do this out in public! But he started it!
But he started it!
Elric, I'll tell Lawrence on you. Levi, I'll tell Levon on you. Your big brothers will hear about this. Both of them suddenly made bitter expressions. They would have known this was a possibility if they had remained level-headed. You both are usually much more mature than this, but sometimes you go too far.
Puh.
See? Rabbit agrees with me.
No fair. You're using Rabbit.
Serves you right. Levi? Sorry, sir. That's better. I get the feeling you two actually get along really well. Maybe that's why you end up arguing like this. We don't get along! See? Why would I be friends with this brat?
You look like an adult, but you're a kid on the inside. I don't want to hear that coming from you.
After they muttered their complaints, they went quiet. The way that they were both reflecting on their mistakes made them alike too. Anyway, I'm walking Elric back to the church. We can go eat together some other time.
I don't need you to walk me back.
It's just for precaution.
Want me to go with you?
You got nothing better to do?
Yeah, you got a problem with that?
I thought they would start arguing again, but it didn't happen. Levi, Elric, Rabbit, and I prepared for our trek to the church. An odd troop we were. Levi, you can come with us, but don't get into another fight, okay?
Why are you saying it to just me?
Because you're the older one.
You're confrontational with kids.
Hey, look here!
Both of you!
Puh!
Sorry, sir.
I'm sorry.
Good. Now let's have a pleasant conversation as we head back to the church. Pleasant. Okay? I thought it was a bit forced, but Levi scratched his head roughly before turning to Elric.
Oh, fine. Come on, let's go, Elric.
Huh? Yeah, sure.
What are you hesitating for?
It's nothing.
Oh. After all is said and done, Levi actually can be mature about it.
Puh! Puh!
Although their conversation remained awkward, they continued to walk without fighting. Though their age and personalities were different, there was something about these two that was really similar. If I told Lawrence this, I wondered what he'd say. I ran to catch up to the two of them as I thought about it. I mean, he already made the comment that birds of a feather flock together. Yay, this unlocked, hooray. I probably did not need the hawk emblem, but it's fine. I have it. I just will not use it this time. Alright, great team. As I walked through the square, I was suddenly stopped. Goodness gracious me, all the Elric episodes with Levi. Sure, why not? It was Elric who had grabbed my clothes, trying to prevent me from moving.
I finally found you!
Elric, what's the matter? Why the rush?
A lot of things. I was looking all over and couldn't find you.
Puh!
You're never at the tower, and you rarely come to the church when I'm waiting. Do you have any idea how much I looked for you?
Huh? That much? Sorry about that.
If you really do feel sorry, train me in the sword.
The sword? I don't mind giving you lessons, but I'm not used to teaching people.
Even if you suck as a teacher, just teach me.
Is that the right attitude when asking someone for a favor? Elric was as cheeky as always, but I could tell he was serious. I looked up while thinking about what the best way to teach him would be. You know, maybe you should ask Levon instead. Hey! I saw someone in the crowd and quickly ran up to him. Levi, are you busy right now?
Hey, Jed. Nah, I just finished a job. I got some free time right now.
Great. Can I ask you for a favor?
Sure, anything.
He was being agreeable, so it would be easy for me to ask. I'm wondering when this happens in relation to her giving Elric, actual sword lessons at the tower. I pointed at Elric as he ran towards us. I want you to teach Elric how to fight with a sword. Since you're with the Vigilantes, you also train the members, don't you?
Huh? Him?
Yeah. You're better at short swords than I am, so you'd be a great teacher. He didn't really get much out of me. You can't?
It's not that I can't. I do train others, but I don't really like it. I hate looking at blood, you know.
You don't say. Levi was reluctant to go along with it, and Elric started shooting off at the mouth. As usual.
I don't want to learn from him if he's not confident in his skills.
Hey, Elric, you have to be the one to ask. Levi is much stronger than I am. If it's just about speed, he's quicker than Levon. You can learn a thing or two from him, so give it a shot.
If you insist.
It doesn't feel half bad to be complimented like that. If it's a little lesson, I can do that for you.
Phew. He accepted. I like that part of you, Levi.
It's a favor for you. It is nothing.
After saying that, he gave a big, friendly smile. Levi really took care of others. He was much stronger than me, so it would benefit Elric much more to learn from him instead. I'm counting on you. Come on, Elric.
Pa.
Thank you.
Levi responded cheerfully to that, and they decided to take the lesson to the nearby forest. Alright. He's practicing his sword again. I hope we get to see Elric trying out his sword skills at some point.
Your grip of the sword is better than I thought. Let's try sparring instead of sticking with foundation training.
It seems as if Elric was training himself, as his grip and swing were better than before. Levi was also a good teacher, teaching others on a regular basis. He used simple words to give out accurate directions.
This is just a thought, but you don't have the time to get into a proper stance when the use of a sword is needed. Short swords are designed for getting close to your opponent, even more so when it's for self-defense. You need to move faster than them. That's more important than any stance right now. You can actually get by even without foundation training. But if I said that out loud, Levon would get mad at me.
Faster than my opponent.
That's right. Getting the first strike gives you the upper hand. But on the flip side, short swords are easy to defend against. Now let's try it out.
Levi stood on the snowy field without placing his hand on his sword.
You're not going to draw?
I told you, didn't I? You have to attack your opponent before he can take a stance. I won't draw until I count to 3.
Here I go!
On hearing that, Elric lunged. Levi slowly counted as Elric approached.
1, 2, 3!
Whoa!
It looked as if Elric's sword had hit Levi, but it was deflected at the last second and was flung into the air. The sword landed deep in the snow. Levi, on the other hand, had his sword drawn and was taking a fighting stance.
Come on now. Were you really gripping your sword correctly?
I was holding it with both hands.
Elric looked down at his hands and noticed they were shaking.
My hands got numb from just that.
That's way too fast. Bah, I should go easier on you next time.
Here you go. Levi mumbled to himself while picking up the sword and handing it back to Elric.
I'll keep dodging, so strike at me as you will. You can try anything to catch me off guard.
He then threw away his own sword.
Huh? You don't want your sword? Won't you get hurt?
Don't underestimate me. If you get even one hit on me, I'll treat you to a meal or booze. Your choice.
What? I don't want booze. Yet.
Yet. Elric lunged at Levi mid-sentence, but Levi dodged it easily and laughed. I'm just picturing Levi with his hands in his pocket, just like jumping around and dodging.
Good one. That's the spirit.
Damn it. I thought your guard was down.
Don't give up and move on. If you try enough times, you might get me eventually.
You better not complain when I do hit you.
Elric swung his sword around wildly, striking only the air around him.
Sure, you can keep swinging, but at least hold it right. Otherwise, you'll get hurt.
I know.
Pa.
Rabbit was in my arms as it gave a worried cry. Rabbit! I got nervous just watching them, but I was confident that Levi would be fine. He hates seeing blood, so he will try to dodge anything that will give him even a scrape. Elric was out of breath from swinging his sword so much. After a short break, he gripped it again tightly.
You're wasting energy swinging like that. Why don't you try thrusting your sword instead?
He started thrusting as he was told. Elric charged while thrusting, giving him better form than earlier. You're getting the hang of it. Keep it up, Elric!
Aww, you're not going to cheer for me?
You're fine even if I don't. Levi talked to me while dodging Elric's attacks. Elric might be a beginner, and a kid at that, but he was very agile. I was impressed at how Levi could avoid his attacks like that.
Damn it!
That angered Elric, and he yelled out loud, thrusting the sword even harder. Levi dodged, to which Elric then kicked snow into the air to block Levi's view.
Whoa!
The powdery snow acted like a smokescreen, and part of it got on Levi. Elric aimed at the right time and thrust his sword forward.
There!
But Levi was already gone. He circled behind Elric and threw snow at him. The snow hit him right in the face. Oof! Hop, 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 hop.
Good one! You're getting better at it, but still too slow!
Damn you!
Elric started charging again. Ah!
Hey, Elric!
Right when Levi opened his mouth, Elric slipped and flew into the air like his sword did just a few minutes ago. After a short moment, he slammed onto the ground.
Ugh!
Ah, that's gotta hurt.
Puh!
Without saying a word, he held onto his side, writhing in pain. Rabbit jumped out of my arms and ran to him. You okay, Elric?
Aw. The snow gets slippery after it's stomped on, so you gotta watch your feet.
Could you have told me that a little earlier?
If you can still complain, you're fine. Now get up and take a stance. If you stay down, the enemies will finish you off.
You don't need to tell me twice.
Their training resumed.
Maybe I'm not cut out for the sword.
Elric mumbled after a long, drawn-out sparring session.
Hey, you're out of your mind if you think it's easy. How much do you think Levon and I have practiced since we were kids?
Well, I just started, but I didn't even graze you.
If you're not confident, don't carry a sword. Using one half-heartedly will needlessly hurt yourself and others. But if you decide to carry one, be prepared. Whether it is swung or not, wielding a sword requires you to hold a conviction, so...
Levi started to trail off. It seemed like he was thinking about something.
I do have conviction. I know that using a sword will hurt others.
Elric continued to speak with a clear voice.
But I want to protect those I love with the sword. Isn't that what it means to have conviction?
Well...
Rabbit watched the two exchange those words. Her round eyes stared right at Elric. It left a strong impression on me how it didn't make a sound during this time.
Alright, let's continue then. We'll spar one more time before the fog.
Just one time? You already tired, old man?
Now you've said it, brat. If you overdo things, you'll be out of commission all day tomorrow.
Levi laughed a little and rubbed Elric's head roughly.
You can talk to me when I have some free time. I'll give you sword lessons then. But for today, we're done.
Fine. And stop rubbing my head.
The two of them continued their childish arguments, but I felt they were much closer because of this. I think they're better friends now? I couldn't help but smile as the training came to an end. Aww, that was so cute. I loved that. I feel like that must have been after she gave him those lessons. don't know, though. I'm gonna have to look at my flow charts and things. But anyway, okay, we finished all the episodes for this map, so I will fast forward again and bring you guys in a little later. Okay, it really wasn't long until the next map. But we're here, and we have another interview question for Levi. I think this might be our last one, actually. Yes, if I'm reading the map correctly, this should be our last one. If spring comes to the town.
When spring comes, we should have another festival. The decorations for the masquerade wouldn't be artificial flowers this time. We'd use real ones. I'm sure it'll be pretty. And also, I'd like to know what it's like to be under the bright, warm sun. We'd all feel good about it.
I agree. Okay. And our last one, flower decoration, which has a really fun and cute CG, if I remember correctly. Levi? Levi! I called out Levi's name as I entered the living room of the manor. It was quiet in here, with not a person in sight. I could hear the crackling of the fire burning in the fireplace. Levi? I called out his name, but received no answer. There were flowers scattered across the table, with Levi's face buried in them as he sat. I crept closer, wondering if he was asleep, but he was so quiet it made me worried. Levi? Are you asleep? I touched his shoulder, but I received no response. Levi! Are you okay? I peered into his face, and in the next moment, Levi jumped up.
Boo!
Whoa! I took 3 steps back as Levi cackled with glee.
Did I scare you?
Yes, you did! I thought you were dead.
No way I'd be dead. I was just resting because I was tired.
Tired? I heard from Francisca that you had the day off today.
It is my day off, but these flowers...
I was so focused on Levi that I didn't notice the fabric flower petals strewed about on the table. Oh, that's pretty. What are these? Fabric petals?
Yeah, I was sewing them together to make them into the shape of a flower.
A flower? Why would you make fabric flowers? Oh, I get it. Considering the season, I understood why there would be flowers of different colors.
Yeah, they're decorations for the festival. Mother told me to make them.
I see. I can understand why they're needed, but why did she give the task to you? You've never sewn anything before.
Well...
His bitter expression was followed by silence. I kind of understood what was going on. Is this punishment for something again?
I won't make excuses this time. I know I was at fault.
He said that with a meek expression, so I sat down at the table to hear him out.
I was partying with friends 2 nights ago and drank more than usual. Like, a lot more. I don't know when I returned home, but I have no recollection of it. When I woke up, it was already morning. I mean, noon.
Okay.
I had this splitting headache and opened the door, only to find Mother with this fiercely angry face. When I saw her, I realized that it was the day I was supposed to go on morning patrol.
Meaning you overslept and skipped out on work?
Yeah.
Then you are at fault.
That's what I said!
I was a bit stunned at this and heaved a sigh. He made it sound like a big thing, so I wondered what was going on. But it was just your usual shenanigans.
I'm feeling down right now. I wish you could have seen Mother's face then.
You're the only one who can make Francisca that mad. She probably woke you up, but you went back to sleep again.
I don't remember. But Mother definitely would have come to wake me up.
I thought so. She gets mad when you don't come down for breakfast.
I did not expect to have to sew as punishment.
Let me see. How far did you get? Levi quietly showed me the needle and thread in his hand. The thread went through some distorted piece of fabric. It looked like... Is this trash?
It's not trash! It's a flower!
Sorry, but I don't get it. All of the cloth is cut uniformly, so how did it end up like this?
I didn't know where the needle was supposed to go, so I kept having to redo it over and over. After a while, the fabric got messed up.
I still don't get how you did this. Let me borrow a needle and thread. I took a needle and thread out of Francisca's sewing box and started sewing the edges of the flower petals. I was able to finish one in less than a minute. Is this how you want it to be like?
Whoa! You're amazing!
You never sew anything, so this would be hard if it's your first time.
Yeah, I know. And look at how many I have to do. This is torture.
There was a great amount of flower petals on the table, as Levi said. But if you sewed them together, it wouldn't be that unreasonable. Oh, fine. I'll help, but you owe me for this.
I was waiting for you to offer. I'll be your cheerleader.
You're doing it too. Are you sure you're sorry for what you did?
I am. Sure I am. Oh, fine. I'll do it.
He didn't appear to be sorry at all, but Levi and I resumed making the fabric flowers. I wanted to do more of my investigations, but taking a break once in a while shouldn't be bad. I've always sewn things, so I was good at it. I kinda liked the slow and steady work of completing something like this. I looked over the table one more time. If all of these are turned into flowers, I'm sure it'll look beautiful. Red, blue, yellow, green, purple, pink, magenta. Sewing together the different flower petals into one would make a cute little flower.
I think they'll be turned into wreaths. Oh, and necklaces or flower crowns for the children. They should have made them bigger.
Oh, I see. That'll be nice. Real pretty and cute.
You and Mother seem to have the same taste. I really envy that.
We talked about things like that while working on the flowers. Levi's sewing was still terrible, but with a little tutoring, he got to a level that was presentable. His speed was excruciatingly slow, so I ended up making most of them. Looks like we're mostly done. See? If you line them up, don't they look nice?
I see. So that's how it looks. I only made 2 flowers.
Don't rush it and just focus on making it look good. Come on, focus.
I'm not good with working on detailed stuff like sewing. I'm more up for physical work, you know?
I understand. But this was a punishment from Francisca. Of course it'd be something you weren't good at.
It's not like I overslept on purpose.
Possibly from being unable to sew well, Levi started to feel even more dejected. I know that. But you have to do your job right, no matter the situation. You knew this would happen the moment you got drunk.
You really do sound like Mother. Always making the right arguments. Yeah, you're right. But it reminds me of so many things.
Levi mumbled to himself and threw a flower he completed. He leaned back on his chair, touching his choker with his left hand.
Maybe Mother doesn't care about me.
I doubted my ears when he said that. It was the first time Levi said something like that, and I knew for a fact that it was untrue. I do wonder, though. I could see her... Because he looks the most like his dad, I could see her favoring Levon over Levi, but... I don't know. I wish I could have more insight into her relationship with her sons.
That's why she always...
I could have laughed it off, saying it was childish of him to say that, but... If she didn't care about you, she wouldn't get mad.
I guess so. I think I went too far with that.
What's with him? He's being much gloomier than usual. Levi had an optimistic and carefree side to him that Francisca always got mad about. Yeah, 'cause it's like his dad. But that was just how cheerful he was. It was always Levi that livened up the crowd. It wasn't that I had never seen him feel down before. It's not because he was yelled at. It must be for another reason. But in times like these, he would never say the reason, no matter how much I asked. Levi.
Sorry. Let's continue. Not like I'm making any progress.
Levi reluctantly resumed making the flowers. The way he worked felt so lifeless, and the atmosphere remained heavy. I'd already finished about 40 flowers. Looking at the overall quantity, we were about half done. What's wrong? Did something happen? Was that what I should have asked? No, that wasn't it. In times like these... I just thought of something, so I stood up from my seat. I gathered the flowers and flower petals on the table and threw them up in the air. There! And yes? I'm like, and? Button, please click. Red, green, and white colors dance like the snow, falling over our heads. Awesome! I knew this would look really cool.
Hey, what are you doing? You just made a mess.
Didn't that look like confetti? Did you see that? Let's try again. There! Before he could respond, I scattered the flowers once more. See? It's pretty, huh?
Well, I guess so.
The petals dropped to the table one after the other. It was a bit sad once it was over, but the table was decorated so beautifully.
Jeez. Look at you scattering all of them. If Mother sees this, she'll get mad again.
Levi chided me affectionately as he returned to work. Hearing that relieved me just a bit. I'll just deal with that when it happens. I'll listen to my lecture with you then.
I see. Well, thanks.
No, it's nothing you need to thank me for. Wait, Levi. You have a flower decoration in your hair. I love this picture. So cute and wholesome before everything falls apart. I burst out laughing while saying that. The flower landed right on top, making it look like a flower was sprouting from his head.
Oh, this? Hey, you got some on your head too. A lot of them.
That's cute.
Hey, don't laugh.
We both burst out laughing, covered in flowers. I had no idea what was so funny, but seeing Levi laugh made me happier, making me laugh even more.
Man, I laughed way too much. Over something so stupid, too.
After we both brushed off the flower decorations from our heads and shoulders, we took a little break. Once we finished sewing them all into flowers, let's do it again, Levi.
Yeah, I guess.
Cuties. I thought about going to pick up all the scattered flowers, but I sensed Levi's gaze. What's the matter?
Hold on.
Levi looked at the flower decorations on the floor and picked up a white one. He took a half-sewn flower petal and dropped it on my hair. It looked like a white flower crown.
I knew it, Jed. It looks good on you.
How am I supposed to react to that? To be honest, it made me feel happy because I was like a normal girl who liked hair accessories. Of course, I wouldn't say that out loud.
Thanks. Consider it a token of my appreciation.
You know, I made this flower.
Don't say that. The flowers you made look better. Mine are all messed up.
We both started to laugh again, right when we were about to pick up the flowers on the floor. I felt an abnormal sense of rage from behind.
Levi, you?
Mother!
Francisca! Levi didn't do this. It was me!
I thought I told you to make the flower decorations. What's the meaning of this?
It was like a fierce lightning bolt struck. Francisca's angry voice echoed through the living room. I had to endure a lecture from her with Levi. I'm glad to see that Levi seems to feel better. I guess that's something to be happy about. Getting yelled at with Levi felt like we were back to how we were before. But I only thought that during the first minutes into the lecture.